Hi, hello, my name is Alexis. I'm back again with some more tips and tricks from that secret world of storytelling. And that's what I'd like to share with you really. Last time there was a series of tutorials about narrative and constructing openings. This time I'd really like to share with you some secrets from the world of storytelling. Things that I've picked up over the 25-30 years I've been working in the theatre that I think are really good in our everyday communication, in business and political communication. Today, I'm going to talk about something called causal narrative. Now, why am I talking about that? Because I think for all of us, when we are in important discussions and important situations, we want the other people to be listening to us. And if we feel those people are listening to us deeply, it's wonderful for us because then we can elaborate about what we're talking about. We've got flexibility to expand and we're not rushed in our minds. But sometimes I'm sure you've all felt those situations where you're in a moment and you can see you're losing people. And you see their eyes mist over, their minds go off. And the pressure on you then is to introduce something new and another new thing and another new thing. And that's quite a stressful place to be, and that's a totally different type of narrative. That's what I call a chronological narrative. And that's what I'd like to do first of all. I'd like to show you what's the difference between a causal narrative and a chronological narrative, and why it's so important for us to understand that difference. I'm going to give you a very short example, and I've stolen this. E.M. Foster gave us a very brilliant example of this, and I'm going to use basically his example. So I'm going to tell you a story twice using both of these. First time, here comes the chronological example. The king died, the queen died. Now what's going on in your mind now? I think for most of us, you will be thinking, so what happened next? And you want to know the next action that goes on. And I've got to introduce something new, another new fact and another new fact. Or I can give you the causal narrative. Here we go, same story. The king died, the queen died of guilt. Now I think most of us, our minds will start to focus on something different here. And the difference is, what was the queen doing? Why did she die of guilt? What was happening there? And those what and whys start to open our minds up, and we start to even imagine that picture of going on and the actions that were happening in the court. And as a storyteller, that allows me to open up and elaborate. Excuse me. So, how can you use that in the business world? Let me give you an example. There's a wonderful example, and you can see it on YouTube, of Matt Britton, when he was head of sales for Google, defending Google in the British Parliament. And he's under fire. He's being barraged by questions from Margaret Hodge. And he takes his time and he uses a wonderful small piece of causal narrative to just build a platform for himself. He steps up and he basically says to her, and I'm just bringing this up from memory, which shows how good it was, I think. He says, if you just let me explain how Google was set up. We started in Ireland. And why did we choose Ireland? And there comes the causal narrative. Because property prices were cheaper than in central London. There's a highly skilled workforce willing to work. And there were many other software companies like Microsoft, Oracle, and other companies like that. And we also invested millions and millions of dollars in these people and developing these people there in Ireland. It's very, very short, but in those few steps, he just begins to establish a platform for himself and a bit of flexibility. He could have said, let me tell you how we're set up. We started in Ireland, there's a great workforce there, and Oracle and Microsoft are there as well. But just those few other phrases allowed him to expand and open it up. So that's what I'd like you to think about. It shouldn't be a list of facts. If you've got a fact or a statement you want to put out there, think about what's the consequence of that? What's the cause behind that fact or statement? And what would be the consequence of it going on into the future? And that allows you to talk about the what and the why. So good luck and I'll be back with some more tips and secrets from the world of storytelling. Thank you.